live again.
Take two.
Take two. So this is interesting because now nobody's watching. So we'll just wait for somebody to pop in. If anybody pops in, just feel free to chat. Let's share the link to this video somewhere. Maybe we can get it here. So that was a bit of a disaster, but we get a look. Check it out. You go to our page where we can share this. So bear with us. The beginning of this video is going to be a little rough. We never scheduled one of these lives before. We just, like, on the phone, on this fly, we've just gone live. And apparently when you schedule a live, the default is unlisted. So I didn't know that.
Which makes sense because people often want to go on YouTube to not gain viewership.
So unlisted was the default. So now I'm going to try to share the link so you guys can find it in various locations.
Hey, we've got some viewers now.
Hey.
All right.
Okay, good. So people found us. You're good. Okay, so this is good. I'm assuming you guys have seen our lives before and we're like, wow, they messed up again. So we probably should just back up and check it out. So let's start from the beginning. Sam, you had a comment about my voice.
Yeah, that your voice sounds, Chris is in.
No.
Oh, man.
No.
Yeah,
Hey.
I made a comment that your voice sounds distinctly different today than it did on day one of Gen Con.
Yeah.
You've dropped a couple of notches and you sound, if you don't mind me saying, a bit haggard.
It's, yeah. Like, I feel like I should be doing a voiceover for something.
In a world.
His short-lived career, because my throat would just bleed out. Okay, so Gen Con, let's repeat. I don't know if anybody caught the first thing we did. We're just going to recap that nonsense, which was, this is got to be the craziest Gen Con yet, right?
Yeah.
For sure, we're going to break some records of, as far as, attendance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the halls were crazy from, right when the con opened on Thursday. I mean, all the way up until Sunday. Like, there were still a lot of crowds as we were walking out of the convention hall at 4 o'clock when it was closing, which is nuts.
And people still waiting for Lorcana. So it's crazy. And for sales, everything. Where's the board games? You know what?
They're all around us.
Let me show you something. Hold on. I'm gonna give you. I'll give you a little sneak peek.
We're getting a behind the scenes.
Yeah, because now I'm on my phone, so I can move this around. Okay, now. Keep in mind, I brought a suitcase with clothing in it, and I had to figure out how to bring my games back. So this is what happened. Bear with me. That is my big luggage filled with board games. And the ones that are missing are holding up this iPhone, and then there's some on my carry-on. So, Brittany...
And I have a suitcase over there that's full of board games.
So do you see Sam's underwear? So
that's what everybody's here for.
Oh yeah, no,
we do have coffee.
We do have coffee.
I just finished mine before we started the video.
So hey Brittany, yeah, those are Sam's games. I'm just warming them up for him in our bag. My bag. So and I'm also unfortunately I'm gonna have to give this away because as much as I could Tetris everything in, I could not fit this.
Yeah.
As much as I could, I got Earth 2 mats. Earth 2 mats. I got the mats for Earth as well. And I had to open the box and just flatten it out and put it in.
Well, it was, honestly, it was comical because I didn't get nearly as much stuff as Mark did. But I got my stuff all situated nice in my suitcase. And I just sat here on the couch, playing a little bit of Marble Snap on my phone and watched as Mark was frantically running around and then constantly finding a new game somewhere. I'm like, oh God, where did this come from? Oh God.
That was it. It was I got it. Oh shit. Find something else.
And then it'd be like, oh no, what about these clothes? Oh, I've got clothes. Oh, the toiletries bag. Oh. And it was just a constant, it was like a comedy routine. Like Mark was doing a sketch except for it was very real.
So I picked up a bunch of stuff. We're not gonna go over all the games now because it's packed and there's no way I'm unpacking it. But I will go through some of them, and we're gonna obviously discuss our experience, what we thought. But I'll do like a kind of Gen Con hall type of thing. But one thing I can reach is I can reach this. So I picked up all the Sorcerer Arena stuff and a bunch of, this is one of the expansions because the Sorcerer Arena box is buried. But I got 3 expansions for that. Looks really cool. And Chris, I saw you were watching.
Oh, your son
hey,
is saying
Xavier.
hi.
How many board games did you buy before you realized you have a problem? Hi, Dada. And no, sorry, that was 2 different conversations. I was responding to Xavier. Hi, Dada, not to who. I missed who asked about the board games. But so yeah, it's. I only really realized it was a problem when I got here today because then I saw them all together and I was like, oh, it's a bit.
Oh, I was wondering whether that was more of like an existential thing of like in the course of your board game journey, at what point did you realize you had a problem?
Oh, and then not just
I don't
today.
know what they meant. That's
Well,
how I took it.
Chris, if you're watching, I saw you pipe in there. I got your Legendaries Encounter Matrix because it's you guys will know the Legendary series.
I meant it both ways.
I don't know how to answer that.
I think I knew that I had a problem in acquiring board games when I bought my second house with an even larger game room. And it was like, maybe I've got a problem. Perhaps.
We've gotten a lot of cool stuff. Like I'm looking forward to playing Sorcerer's Arena that I got here. It looked really cool. I talked to the designer Fletch. I'm looking forward to taking like Scar and ripping off Moana's head or something, feeding it to Stitch, whatever it is. That's what I want. I figure that's how the game goes. It's like a battle royale, like a Spartacus, but with Disney.
Well, as we talked in our last live video, they don't die.
Oh,
There's no death.
First of all, that was Lorcana. This is Arena. What was the comment that came in?
Let's see, Matrix, and then Chris said Matrix, and then what are you most looking forward to playing?
Oh, good. Lorcana. I want to play Lorcana. That's what I wanted when I got here, and I haven't played it yet. There's been demos, but I've missed all the demos, so I've not played it all. And I want to play the Sorcerer Arena. I'm in a Disney kick right now, and that's really what I want to play. And the OP I got, which is where I got Arena from. I also got Express Route, which is a cooperative like delivery game where it seems like you got to balance making deliveries on time versus like upgrading your vehicles, because it's like if you upgrade your vehicle then you're losing time making deliveries, so it's like a balancing act, and it's cooperative, so everybody's got to work together. So I want to try that out. That sounds really cool.
Isn't Lore Arcana a skill in D&D? Yeah,
Is it?
I think so. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
They might be 2 separate skills, Lore and Arcana. I don't know. I'm not a D&D player.
But aside from that, got a lot. There's a lot of stuff. I got a copy of Marrakesh, which is cool. Gonna do a review for that.
Spoiler: he likes it.
I do like Marrakesh.
We're board game nerds, but you don't.
Well,
play D&D.
there's like the RPG group, and then there's the tabletop, like the board game group, and there's 3. There's the RPG, there's the tabletop miniatures group, and then there's the board game group. Like
Yeah.
I know those are definitely 3 defining groups. There are some people that can do them all. You know, the triple threats.
The triple threat.
Like I wouldn't mind try. Like I'd like to try a D&D, but as Brittany can attest, if she's watching this, our group is not a bunch of role players. So like they won't role play. It's not really their thing. They prefer having things on the board and minis and trying to like outthink each other. They're not so much into like the fantasy realm of role playing. It's not their thing. So, and I'm not gonna just role play by myself. But like I wouldn't mind trying it. But yeah. But we definitely play board games. Just like, do you D&D? Do you ever RPG?
No. I mean, it's just not my thing. Like, I appreciate it, and I appreciate what it does and why so many people enjoy it. I like having a really set rule set, and I enjoy the strategy and the tactile. Like, my brain doesn't work in the way that, like, okay, you just walked into a tavern. And my brain stops at that point. Like, okay, I'm in the tavern, where other people are like, oh, what's in there? What's going on? Where's this door? What's it look like? What's the layout? Like, my brain just can't process that. I have to see things, and I have to so I do much better with board games.
You're like Brittany. Brittany would just say, okay, now I am in a tavern. And like, all right, are you gonna do something? I'm gonna do something in the tavern. Okay.
Brittany and I would be great role playing players.
So, but as far as role playing goes, one thing I do like about role playing, which I think will get me more into role playing, and then I could play it by myself, is the Tebaru, which we did a video of, and watching it is not necessarily the most exciting thing, but it's fun to be there. It's not the most exciting to watch because basically, if you're watching it, you're just watching people listening to a story. But if you're in it, then you feel like the story, you're part of the story. So, and that is probably one way that I will get to play RPGs is if they start pulling them off on Tebaru, because then it's got that table component, we're rolling, and I don't feel like, and then people don't feel like they have to play act, and that's something that people don't feel comfortable with is the role playing, like the play acting. People just don't feel comfortable if they're self-conscious to do it. So that's why.
I think for me, one of the things that gets me at least closest to like the role playing elements is something like Oathsworn, where you have a really strong story component and you are making active choices, but it's like limited choices. You can do a certain amount of things, but the game kind of provides those for you. So I feel like I have the structure that I need, but I'm still getting really great story, and I'm making decisions that actively affect the outcome.
I've never felt when I play those games that I am I never feel like I am the warrior. I never feel like that. But I feel like more like a video game, like I'm controlling a warrior, and he's like my pet. Like, look how cool I made my warrior. Not how cool am I? Like, how
No,
cool
that's
is
a
my
good
pet little
distinction.
warrior, right?
Yeah. No, I feel the same way.
So, and I think I feel more comfortable with that too. All right, now games I did check out. I checked out Invincible. It's like the Invincible, the dice, because there's a few Invincible games apparently. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did the dice game, and didn't care for it. I did a demo. I love Invincible. I've never watched the cartoon, but I've read the comics, and Robert Kirkman's like my favorite writer. But Invincible is basically you get a pile of dice, and different colors. You can roll up to 3, and then you roll this one blue die that adds on there, and each type of die has different type of strength. You roll it, and you have to like defeat this like a random card that's just like a random minion. Like, here's a bad guy. Roll dice to defeat that bad guy. If you do, then you get the points. If you don't, and the dice are one-time use, so they're gone. So you have to decide, which dice do I want to use to go against this guy? He's a big guy. Am I feeling lucky? Do I think I'm going to roll well? So it's kind of a little press your luck, because you're going to be like, do I want to stop, or do I want to go? No, I want to go again. Give me another guy. Give me another guy. And then, no, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to risk it anymore. And then it goes to the next person. So it doesn't feel very interactive. It's just a bunch of people playing press your luck against a deck of cards that keeps flipping out at you. So it's just like, I didn't care for it. It's very simple, but I saw a comic.
Yeah, someone asked, why didn't you watch the cartoon?
Because I didn't finish reading the comic, and I'm very much a completionist when it comes to stories. I was reading the comic when it was like new, so then I read it, and then I was like, I'm gonna stop, read something else, come back when it's piled up, and then I binged that, came to the end again where I was like, there's no more printed, so I'm gonna wait again, and then I just never went back again. So then the cartoon came out, and I got sidetracked by other things, so I want to go back again and read it, and then so that way I like seeing the comic book come to life, so I want to read it and be like, they did a good job with that. I remember that from the comic book, right? Or angry, be like, he did it wrong. I want to get those emotions in there.
One of the games I checked out that I ended up purchasing and I've been able to get it to the table is a reprint from Pandasaurus of District Noir. So it's a 2-player card game.
Little box.
Yeah, small box.
Yeah.
Like slightly larger than normal cards, kind of like tarot-sized cards. But it's a head-to-head 2-player game. Super simple and super easy. You have play over 4 rounds. You have a hand of 6 cards. On your turn, you play a card to the middle, or you take the most recent 5 cards played, and you're trying to collect sets of numbers. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have the most of that after 4 rounds, like if you have the most 8s, you'll score 8 points for those. If you have the most 7s, you'll score 7 points. But then you also score 5 points for every set. So there's a lot of layers of strategy in front of where do I want to go, how do I want to score the points, and there's straight up positives and negative points, just not contributing to sets. And last but not least, there's city cards, and there's only 3 of them, but if you happen to get all 3 city cards, you win the game. So there's a back and forth of like, I want to entice someone to take the pile now and hold back my really good cards so that I can take the pile that I want. or you want to make the pot sour and not as good. Anyway,
Is the collection part like secret or is it face up?
no, it's face up, so everyone sees what you have in front of you, and you see the main row. Anyway, I really enjoy those kind of like head-to-head two-player games that move fast, are easy to learn, easy to play, but you feel like there's luck in them, but there's also enough strategy that you really feel like you're making impactful decisions. Anyway, that was a reprint, I think, from 2016 or 2017.
So you'd recommend it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a Sam recommendation.
Yeah.
Now, not game related. Today was the first day I actually got to walk the floor, and it was the shortest day. So I actually got to just like check out the booths and play a game, which was cool, which I don't normally get to do. Sorry. And we started the day playing Star Wars Unlimited, and it's not going to release till like 2024.
Which is crazy that they're previewing it so soon.
And I got it. Adam has got my promo cards. It's a promo Luke and a promo Darth Vader, and he's not here. Or he'd be in the video. Gotta make sure I get that before I go home. But yeah, so we played that when we started, and I played Luke, and Adam played Vader. So Force versus Dark Side. I crushed him. Just so you know, he's not here to defend himself, and there's no defense. He'd agree. You heard him talk about it. He got obliterated. So here's the thing. He would say it's unbalanced. I'd say I'm just that skilled. But okay, at a glance, it might have looked like it was unbalanced. But the girl that was teaching us, she said that she heard the same thing from the opposite side, where people said the dark side was unbalanced because they were crushing the good side, the good guys. So here's the point of the game. You have everybody has a base. You sit across from each other, right? Base. You have to destroy each other's base. Your base has 30 life. And
Sounds like a pretty basic game.
And then behind that, you got your leaders, which is Luke or Vader, and they have an ability. Now they're not in the field yet, so you can't attack them, but they have this ability they can trigger. I think Vader could like pinpoint and just do damage to he can do damage to I think like a unit and a base. I don't know because I killed Adam so fast I didn't actually experience. It didn't do much. But Luke, you could use his ability to shield your characters, and that would prevent damage from them. So I just kept shielding my characters, protecting them, and the final score, because remember, 30 damage, was 30-0. So I just obliterated Adam. He felt like he couldn't do much. Everything he put out, I killed. He saved up to put out this big robot. He's like, boom, here it comes. I had a car. I was like, put it back in your hand. So it slowed him down. And then I just shielded all my guys because I got ahead of them fast. So I made sure all my guys were shielded, kept them shielded. Because the attacking is a little slow. Because it's not like Magic where you can attack with a bunch of guys at once. So it's like on your turn you can attack, but you only attack with one of your characters. And then they attack with one of your characters.
Do they have the same mechanic of like a summoning sickness type thing?
Yeah, they do. They come in with summoning sickness, and there's one, like the Snow Speeder, has no summoning sickness when it comes in. So that's its special ability. And then you fight on the ground. There's ground forces, and then there's space forces. So ground forces fight ground forces, space forces fight space forces, but everybody can attack the base.
Yeah.
So, so if you don't have anybody in space, and your spaceships are like just nailing your force field, you need to get spaceships up there so you can kill them. So they're not just going there unchallenged, blowing up your base. But here's the problem: because it was so slow with the attack, and I was able to kill his little guys off soon, I would just attack and shield the guy, attack, shield the guy. I was shielding everybody. He got one attack and that one attack would just take a shield off. Well, I put a shield back on, and then he can't attack with that guy again. So I just keep going. And they have this thing where it's initiative, because the way it works, again, unlike something like Magic, where I could just play a land and play as many cards and then attack. It's like I play a land, then you play a land, then and any card is a land. So you take any card, put it face down, that's a land. And then I play a card, and then you play a card, and then I attack, and then you attack. One attack. So that tells me it's very 1-1-1-1. So I know what what these limits are. And I know he's not going to attack me with a bunch of guys at once. So basically, everything he put out, I killed. He'd do damage to my base. I'd have Yoda. If you attack with Yoda, you can heal your base. So I'd attack with Yoda. I had Yoda shielded, so he couldn't kill him. I would attack with Yoda. Yoda would heal the base. He'd try to kill Yoda, take off the shield, because all damage just takes off the shield.
So just as a question around this, I'm thinking from like a game design, game mechanic perspective. Do you think that that increased the strategic decisions or decreased the strategic decisions of you always know it's going to be a one for one
Well,
versus not being able to maybe prep up for a surprise attack with multiple
I
people?
think it limits the surprise of what's gonna happen because you're like you can only do one thing. Unless I like surprise what's in your hand. But like I'm wondering if like, we were taught wrong. Like I don't know. Like she seemed pretty confident in teaching us. We didn't read the rules. We were taught. We were guided through the whole thing, and I thought she did a great job. But there's a problem with like if you take an action, like he had three. I had three units out. He had one. So you tap his unit, attack my guy, but they're shielded. So all it does is if you did 10 damage, it would just take the one shield off. So my guy's untouched. Then on my turn, I use an action to put a shield back on. Well, he has no creatures. Then he goes, he's like, well, I can't go. I'm like, I don't have any more creatures. So I'm like, oh, well, it's my turn. I'll just attack you. So it was hard. Like I just kept, once I got shielding everything, it was hard for him to get through. Like he could attack the base. I can't shield that.
Yeah.
But it made it very hard to do it. But there are characters you could put out, which I didn't, which are like sentries, I think, or sentinels, I can't remember. And you'd have to attack them before you attack the base. So if you had those out and you had them shielded, it'd be really hard because you could just keep shielding them. It would be different if you could like ping them for one damage, take the shield off, and then attack with your creature. But you can't. You have to ping them one damage, wait till your next turn. But then when I get my turn, I'm going to do something to either stop you from doing what you're going to do, or heal them. Like at least that's the situation we got into. Like maybe if Adam was a better player, this wouldn't be the situation. So yeah,
Throwing shade on Adam without him here to defend himself.
total obliteration, total obliteration. So I love the game. I thought it was great.
Speaking of games in space, something that I'm very excited about, I haven't that they were showing off at the show is Last Light from Gray Fox Games. This one is designed by Roy Cannaday. It's like a space 4X, but it's simultaneous play, and you're supposed to get a full experience in 60 to 90 minutes, which is crazy. I did have the chance to play Last Light in its early form when he was still pitching it to publishers. And I thought it was incredible then. I'm sure it's gone through a couple rounds of development, but looking just, excuse me while Mark dies
Sorry.
off screen, just looking at the production quality. So it's got like this rotating board, so that has these plastic planets that are then rotating, and it looks incredible.
I've never seen it. I saw the box and I was like, I'll see it at the show, and it's sold out.
Yeah.
Just
Well, it's
gone.
like very, very early because Kickstarter backers haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
That I'm sure they're getting some flack for that. But I'm a Kickstarter backer. I don't really care. I'll get it at some point. But I will say, if you are one of those backers, the production quality looks insane. I'm so stoked to get to that game. So I think Roy on the design front did a great job, and Gray Fox from the production side knocked it out of the park. So I'm stoked for that one.
Which is that's what I've heard. It's the word on the street.
Yeah.
Everybody was hot hot on Last Light. Last
No, it's Last Light.
Last
Yeah,
Light.
yeah.
What was I thinking? I was never mind. So another thing I really enjoyed because I actually got to walk the floor is I actually got to like meet fans of the show. So I had a lot of people, hey, Board Game Coffee, love the show. And it was just nice to get to talk to people. And then actually, because before it was like just zipping through I'm in like private meeting rooms and just zipping across the floor. I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody. So that was cool to actually be able to meet people. And like, yes, somehow Adam if he was here, I'm pretty sure he'd be going off
Oh,
on
he'd have a lot to say.
Adam was put into a lot of funny situations. It's just too bad. He's Adam. If you're watching, buddy, I think you're missing your point here. Your time to shine right here, because Adam was just going off on how it's like he had to hold my bag. Because people would be, can I take a picture? He'd like, here, hold my coffee. And then, or they'd be taking it. Could you take a picture of us? And he'd be like, what about? Do you want to take a picture of me?
Oh, no, that was good that someone wanted to take a picture with you, and they were so excited. And I was like, well, do you want me to take the picture? They're like, no, you're fine. And then you took a picture and said, did you want to get a picture with me? And like the awkward silence is like,
And they just walked away.
no.
This is funny. I got to play. I got to play Mordred a bit, a demo. So
Tell us about
Simon's Mordred. Now, I did look at it and get a sense of like Blood Rage, but I haven't played Blood Rage in so long. I don't really remember. But instantly I looked at it and I had a Blood Rage feel. It's area control, right? But it's got this interesting mechanic where the abilities you want to do, the actions you want to take, cost a certain amount of, I don't know if it's time, but there's this wheel, and if it costs you 2 of whatever that
Is it a
unit
wheel
is,
of time?
it might be. So it's this wheel, and it tracks, like, everybody starts on the same unit, and then if you want to spend 3, let's call it just units. If you want to spend 3 units of whatever it is that you're, like, mana, time, whatever it is, you move 1, 2, 3 along this circle, and then you spend your 3 to do whatever your action you want it to do. But it's the person who is closest to the beginning of the clock goes. So because you're so far ahead, now you got to wait till everybody passes you before you get to go again. So you could make short moves so you could play more often, or you can spend all your time to do like a bigger move, but you push it, but you'll wait longer to respond to it. And but here's the thing, I enjoyed it, but in all fairness, I won this little quick demo. If you count, like, I didn't win, we didn't finish, but it would have been an I won because I had more favor tokens than everybody else at the end. So I was like, if you wouldn't buy that, which is what we were trying to do, then I would have won, but we didn't actually play a game. But the reason I got more favor tokens was 2 things. Well, I didn't really know what I was doing, but nobody else did. Everybody was just learning. And they were picking their cards. I was playing my cards randomly because you play them face down and then you reveal, like, you get into a battle, you place them face down, then you reveal them. And my random picks just happened to be good picks. And then, so that's how I won. I won randomly. But and that's not to say that you could win this game randomly. I'm pretty sure if you knew what you were doing, you'd have the advantage. But what's cool about this little wheel I was telling you about, which is like your mana, the last person to come off of it will reveal like an icon on it. And then that person gets to take that ability that's on there. And it triggers one. One is like you get to move the monsters on the board. The other one is like you get to, I can't remember, there's like 4 of them or 5 of them. One of them was like you get to move the monsters, and the other one, which I triggered, was like you get to start the war. And if you trigger the war, that's when all the minis on the board, they fight for control of those areas. That's when you start playing the cards to battle each other. But the person who triggered the war gets to determine which order the war takes place.
Oh, that's cool.
So they get to say like this region, that region, this region. And it looks beautiful, first of all. Like Simon, obviously.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm looking forward to more because it seemed easy to get into.
There is one thing that I want to make sure we cover in this video, and it involves macaroons.
Okay. So here's what. All right. So I went to this. Yeah, it's not quite that Yum's kind of story reading. So I went to a special VIP Lorcana event, and
I want to pause for a moment before you continue and say it is so VIP that we obviously talked to a lot of people in the industry, a lot of content creators. All week, Mark would always be like, hey, are you going to the Lorcana thing? No, I wasn't invited. Hey, are you going to the Lorcana thing? No, I wasn't invited. So basically, no one in the industry was invited except Mark.
That's what it seemed like. But then I found some people. Alex from Boarding & Co. was there. Professor Meg was there. So I did find, I found a few. Lincoln was there. Lincoln and Nikki.
Yeah.
They were there. So I did find there were other people there. It wasn't just me. But it was put on by Disney. So it was a nice, a nice thing. We went there and where is it? I got something really cool. Oh, it might be here. It might be here. Check it out. I'm gonna show you this. This is cool.
Very cool.
It is cool. It's got to be in here. It's got to be in here.
Did you put it in the deck
No,
box?
I got it. I got a custom Lorcana card of me. So you can make that out. That's me. This is my Lorcana card. So they were making custom Lorcana cards of you at this thing. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I did that right away. And then they gave us some Lorcana stuff. They gave us some like starter decks and packs of cards and mats to play on. We didn't get a box of boosters. We got two boosters though. My card doesn't do anything. It's just got a picture of me on it, as far as I understand.
That tracks.
Yeah, it's accurate. So it just looks cool. It doesn't do anything. But it would have been cool, I think, if they put an ability on it.
Yeah.
But it's just the border and the art and everything. It doesn't do anything. But we're getting to the macaroons. Nice event, drinks, cocktails, everything. It was excellent. On our way out, we have our goodie bag, and they gave us this nice little pretty thing of macaroons. It was like a plastic, nice octagon. It said like Lorcana. The macaroons all have like different symbols on it from the card game. So all right, cool. Put it in my bag. I got out
With all of the beautiful, beautiful things that he told you he got.
And but it's that one was. Let me finish. So, what are macaroons? Macaroons are they're about this big, and they're like a light, fluffy, cakey pastry thing,
Yeah.
and they have like a cream in the middle. They're very tasty, very light.
They look like a little cookie.
Yeah, they look like a
Colorful
little a little puffy cookie, and they're delicious. So, I put mine in my bag, went outside, waited for my Uber, looked in my bag, and I'm like, oh, they spilt all over the place. I must have not, because I just threw it in there, so I was bad with it. So I just started eating the loose macaroons in my bag, not a big deal. Went back in to use the bathroom while I was waiting for my Uber. Came back out, and they're like, grab macaroons. I was like, no, thanks, I already got some. But they spilled on my bag. They're like, oh, just grab another. We got lots. I was like, okay, grab another thing of macaroons. This time I was like, I'm gonna be really careful, not break this. So, keep in mind, I've been drinking free drinks all night. So, it got a little messy. Got at the Uber, gonna go to another event. Went to this one event, and the macaroons are still with me this whole time. Went to this heavy metal concert thing. There was just loud music every time. We got a bunch of free drink tickets, and then everybody wanted to leave, so I had all these drink tickets. So before I left, this is kind of intermission of the story. I gave all of my drink tickets to people like I was like Robin Hood. You know, just say, here you go, everybody, free drinks for everybody. And then people were giving me hugs. That might have caused some macaroon crushing. So then I'd go outside. So you know what? I'm gonna ride to wherever everybody else is. So I'm gonna hop on one of these scooter things that you rent. Hopped on the scooter, started going. Scooter died. Rain started pouring. So like I've got all my stuff, pouring rain, dead scooter, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Sam, come help me. So Sam is down the street, like they made it close to him. He comes back, he helps me. He was like, I don't know what's going on. So we ended up walking, because it stopped raining. We ended up walking, and we meet people, and I was like, oh cool, look what I got. Open up my bag, and the macaroons were just destroyed. Like, I don't know if it was from the hugs from the free drinks. I don't know if it was I don't know what it was from, but something happened in this process, and all the macaroons just got demolished. Like, you couldn't make out the shapes, and I was just scooping up piles of goop and just throwing it in the garbage can, and all the Lorcana stuff was just covered and my hands were disgusting. You couldn't stick it in the bag. The bag was coated in macaroons. Lorcana stuff is like coated in macaroons and just like gush. I'm just scooping this stuff up, just whipping it in the garbage can. And I was disgusted. People were trying to hug me and I was like, don't touch me. Disgusting. So I had to go wash my hands. We went to a bar. First thing I did was wash my hands. And then when we got back home, first thing, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm washing all the Lorcana stuff.
Yeah. Mark can barely stand because we're so tired and we're so late, and he's just wiping off macaroon of all of his stuff.
It was just a macaroon mush, and Lorcana cards everywhere. But they were in their boxes and their packs, so the cards are okay, but everything it was disgusting. That was the end of that story. But yeah.
Sorry, we didn't talk about bringing that up before. I just felt like it needed to happen.
Thanks. That was. All right, let's cover some more Gen Con. Let's focus on Gen Con.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any questions, just shoot them out there.
I'll talk about another game. This game is actually also coming out from Pandasaurus. It's called Sea Salt and Paper. I think it was originally published by a French publisher or anything, but Pandasaurus is bringing it over to the U.S. Super cool little card game. I had the opportunity to play it prior to Gen Con. Was hoping to pick up a copy here. They sold out before I could get to it. But super cool little card game, set collection. It's got these really unique illustrations of like fish and swimmers and sharks, and you put in, interesting combinations of cards which allow for special abilities, and there's mermaids, and but all the art is just this really unique. I don't even know how to describe it without having it in front of me.
Origami?
Yeah, kind of like origami. But super cool game. I was hoping to pick up a copy. Unfortunately, I couldn't because they had already sold out. We did get a question of what's your favorite board game mechanic?
I'm a fan of worker placement.
Are you?
Yeah.
I love all of them. I think for me personally, it might be deck building.
Oh,
I love deck building.
Deck buildings. I've been on deck building I just kick recently.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to change my answer. Deck building. I like deck building. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. Good answer.
Hey, you too.
There was something on here. I'm looking at our notes. Oh, first of all, Sam wanted to play a game before left. So we stopped and we stopped at Renegade, and we played. Now I love Renegade. We do, I don't know. Everybody loves deck building.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, I love Renegade. I do a lot of how to play as for Renegade. But we were playing. What was the game called? Search for the Lost Species.
Search for the Lost Species.
Now you told me this is like.
It's a follow-up to a game called The Search for Planet X. Deduction and logic, going around following logic rules to be able to discover different. In Planet X, it's finding out where certain like asteroids and dwarf planets and gas clouds, things in the the night sky are. In this one, it's discovering where species are on this island.
Now, as far as the what's on Planet X? I can't remember. I keep forgetting the title. Search for Planet X.
Search for Planet X.
So, Search for Planet X. Did you like Search for Planet X?
Loved it.
Loved Search for Planet X. Okay, so you got this because you loved that one.
Yes.
Now I've never played Search for Planet X. So we sat down for this demo. Now I don't know if it's because it was the end of the day. It was the last thing we did. My feet were tired. My voice sore. I'm just sleepy. We sat in for this thing, and I hated it. Hated it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. It's not my game. It seems like advanced Minesweeper. Like advanced Minesweeper with like frogs and birds and like fuzzy animals. And like there's the app integration, there's like taking notes. It's just too much for me. I don't know, maybe I wasn't in the right state of mind.
I think that definitely contributed to it. It is my style of game. I love deduction. I love logic. I love putting together those puzzles and making, abstract connections between these two because I happen to know this thing, which leads me to know that thing. And because I also know this thing, I can put all of them together and discover, where this lost species are. And if you're a fan of Planet X, you will definitely notice a lot of similarities between the two games. But Lost Species brings in some new ways. There's cool ways of how you move around the board, and where you move personally around is only where you can search for things. I thought that was an interesting inclusion. Also, they added in some abilities for the game to be more asymmetric, because there's cards you can pick up that give you special abilities or discount certain actions. So I'm excited to play a full game rather than just a demo. But I think your experience was definitely colored by the fact that we sat down and Mark went.
Like it was, yeah. Again, I was tired. Like I'll give it another fair shake. So this is just my first impressions. I did not care for it, and I was going so back and forth. And the guy was saying, "Make notes here, make notes there, do this, do that." And I was like,
And I think he was feeling the end of the day too.
Yeah, everybody's like wrapping up. It's like the end of Gen Con. They're like, "Just get out."
So it was not an energetic teach. He didn't do a bad job. I don't want to say that at all. But it was not energetic, which made it even tougher for us to pay attention.
Well, he knew. Oh, and especially talking about teaches. If you guys watch the other lives, I said Marvel Dagger, terrible teach. I never want to play that game again because the teach was terrible. But Star Wars Unlimited, I think her name was Hannah, did a great job. She did a great job at teaching us. Unless she taught us wrong, then I take that back. But I don't know. As far as I know, she taught us wrong. She's very confident in her answers.
But if you're going to teach something wrong, you might as well be confident.
She was very confident in her answers. So I don't think that game is for me. Like I love Renegade stuff, but that's not. I don't think it's not a me thing. What else? I'm just looking at our notes. Somebody asked how many games would we pick up. Now I don't have a number, but I can tell you using this bag weighing thing, I've picked up 55 pounds worth of games, not including what's in my carry-on. So let's say about 60 pounds. I'm just gonna say 60 pounds. I've picked up 60 pounds worth of games, whatever that means.
Well, I think the plan is probably to shove a couple in your pockets and in your hoodie as you're boarding.
Yeah. So I've lost track. If I had to guess, what 20, 30? Somewhere there, somewhere between 20 and 30?
Yeah, that would make sense. I only picked up maybe 10, 12. Metric. Actually, it measured in metric first.
24. I think 24 point something kilograms.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
so. I think that's what it was. So let's say about 25 kilograms. So that's I did that first, and I was like, I know I'm from Canada, but I'm used to pounds, so I understand pounds. All right, now, any other notes here? I think we've covered everything.
I mean, not quite everything, but
Everything in our notes. What do you
no,
want to say?
I got stuff in there.
Okay, you say stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll talk. I mean, I don't know. I'll talk about one of them that I'm excited about that our good friends over at Floodgate have picked up. There's a series of games that is Blitzkrieg, Caesar, and then now Dogfight. All of these games are 2-player head-to-head, meant to be played in 20 minutes or less. Simple. At least Blitzkrieg and Caesar are both like kind of, you start off with a bag of chips and you pull them out and they
Did you
can
say it
kind
was
of.
Floodgate?
Yeah, Floodgate picked it up.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that the game you were holding at the end? Before we left?
yeah,
But that wasn't the Floodgate booth.
yeah. It was.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, the last time we were at Floodgate. Oh, maybe you and I weren't at Floodgate together.
No, we weren't at Floodgate together.
Oh, are you talking about the last game I picked up? That's Ragnarok.
Yeah, when I said the last game, no, not that thing. No, we were. There was the people. They were eating chips, and they were at their table. They'd given up on the day already. They were eating hamburgers and chips and whatever, and people were coming up to buy things. And they're like, "I don't care." And and you picked up. We were talking about picking up a game to play before we went to go play Minesweeper. What was what was it? Do you remember? It was like a quarter box. You said it was like what's the card? The military card game.
Undaunted?
Undaunted. You said it was like Undaunted. It was a little cube box.
Oh, no. That's General's Orders.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's from Osprey.
Because that's right. But because I didn't see what the game was, I don't know what game it was. But based on your description, it matches what you picked up.
Yeah, no,
Because there's little chips, there was a little box, it matched everything. So that's why I was wondering.
No, that makes sense. That's also a new release at Gen Con that I'm interested in, but I know nothing about.
Okay, continue.
Anyway, so it's a series of games. I really enjoyed Blitzkrieg. I played that first, and I actually played Caesar immediately after. I liked Caesar better. I love Caesar. I play it as often as I can. So I'm really excited about Dogfight. Floodgate is now doing, I guess, some of the U.S. distribution, but I think the designer's Paolo Mori.
I'll take your word for it.
Great sequence of games, and apparently Dogfight is supposed to be even quicker than the other two, and a little bit simpler in play. But I'm stoked to be able to get Dogfight to the table.
Okay, all right. You got more notes here. I see on here.
The other notes we don't have.
Yeah, they don't matter. Okay.
I mean, we played a game called Stool Pigeon from my good friends over at Barrel Age Games.
I had a quick demo of that.
Yeah,
I didn't really know what I was doing, but I won.
You did win.
I did win.
Yeah. No, I love Stool Pigeon. I think it's a blast.
Okay, so any last questions before we go? Overall, Gen Con is great. I still recommend Gen Con. If you're a board game fan, you need to come to Gen Con. Like, just come next year. Tips on that, you start looking for places to stay early.
Oh yeah, as soon as the hotel block opens, you gotta book
Yeah.
a room.
And if they're too expensive, look at Airbnb.
Yeah.
Boxes or briefs? Me? Neither, actually.
Now we're really getting into it.
You asked the question. Neither. I'm actually go commando most of the time.
We're really getting personal. I'm a brief guy.
But yeah, I wear briefs if I wear anything, it's briefs. So
I've actually got very colorful briefs today.
thank you.
Yeah. We're not gonna make it that kind of show though. That's for all of your imagination.
I saw a question. What was the favorite
Favorite part of the whole show?
favorite part of the whole show? You know, every time people keep asking me that, the first thing that always pops to mind is I love the madness for Lorcana. That was great. That wasn't it was a favorite moment, but it wasn't like a good part.
Well,
You know what I
it's
mean?
become legendary talking about how the Lorcana line went
Yeah.
out the building.
Like that was great. So, but when I look at like games and things I did, I really enjoyed. Well, I actually really enjoyed kicking Adam's ass at Star Wars. That was so much fun.
And other games.
Yeah,
As far as kicking Adam's ass.
It's so, like watching him just like hopelessly like oh no, it's and just like it was great. But no, I keep going back to Batman Arkham Asylum. They had AR game thing. I thought that was so cool. I thought there was so many cool things in there, and I'm really looking forward to trying that out. And like when I first saw the trailer for that, I thought it was just going to be like, this, it was like, is it as good as this, or did they doctor this? Like, how is it? And it's just as good as the trailer. They did a great job. I saw a question pop up.
Yeah. Dennis asks, do you think Lorcana helped or hurt the show overall?
I think it helped the show. I think
100%.
I think part of this. I think there's a few things that happened. Lorcana brought in people that probably wouldn't normally go to Gen Con because they're Disney fans.
Yeah.
It also probably helped sales because I'm pretty sure people bought badges twice to get more Lorcana stuff.
Oh.
Because I think that was the rumor. That was one of the rumors.
Were they limited to badge numbers?
They trimmed your badge. When you bought Lorcana, they cut your badge. So
I didn't know that.
You could not go in again.
Okay, so that's why someone made a comment today. They picked up your badge and they pointed to that clipping and they made a comment about it, and I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Was I there?
You were.
Was I wearing it?
Yep. They picked it right up off your chest and said, well, I'm not this cool.
I have no idea. But
I think it was in the Queen Games booth.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't remember. But yeah, so they clip your badge. But there's rumors going around that people were betting getting another day badges and then coming in to buy more Lorcana,
Oh,
which is madness.
that is madness.
So I'm assuming, like, I'm hoping they sold their badge again or something. Like what?
I wonder if like how rampant that was and if it inflated the numbers.
Probably because they sold out the 4-day passes. They sold out. Well, the Saturday pass sold out. So if you're going to do that, you're not going to buy the 4-day pass. You're just going to buy the 1-day pass
Yeah.
and go in there. So, but that's risky though, because you buy that 1-day pass and then you're in the back of the line because they sold out every day. So, so yeah, the Lorcana stuff. Probably gonna remember that forever. Like the year Lorcana was released.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it definitely helped. It brought a lot of people in there that don't normally play board games
Yeah.
because of the Disney thing. And yeah, that was. So it was good, but it was a disaster. It was.
I think for me, my favorite part of the show was probably less interesting to other people, but just I love seeing everybody because I know a lot of people in the industry, and you know I don't go to as many cons as I used to when I was working and working at cons. So for me, it's just seeing everybody, catching up, and then hearing them talk about passionately like what they've got coming out. I love that. I love connecting with people.
It's a cop-out answer. People want to know what you do. What games did you play? It's like for the people. I do it for the people.
Boop. I will say, okay, that's a highlight. Boop. I love Boop. I think it's
Because you got
phenomenal.
Halloween Boop.
I did, yeah. Boop.
Halloween Boop's good. It has
So
a
good.
ghost.
Yeah.
But
I feel
what's
like
up?
all I've talked about is two-player abstracts.
Oh, I met the designer of Boop. He was at Lorcana.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
super
didn't
nice
know
guy.
because it was talking. I was talking to him, and they were like, "Oh, he's a designer," and I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "What have you designed?" And he's like, "Boop," and I was like, "Oh, I love Boop." So we started talking about. Anyways, that was
He
it.
did Hues and Clues, too.
He was in what?
He did Hues and Clues.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
mentioning that. I never played using Clues, but I've seen it.
He was in the press room when you and I were grabbing coffee.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I said hi. I didn't introduce
Oh, I
you.
didn't meet him then. I didn't know who he was then. I met him after that thing.
Well, I didn't introduce you.
I met Vassal. He was wearing a Hues and Clues or Hues and Clues. Hues or Clues.
Hues and... Oh, God, now I don't know.
Is it Hues and Clues or is it Hues and Cues? Anyways, because I never played the game, but I know it's like the colorful patterns.
Yeah.
But Vassal was wearing a tie from it.
Oh, well, there you go.
That was met. Tom was great. Okay, so was there any other questions? Did we miss anything? Think we
No.
good?
I think that's all the questions that we've got.
All right. Well, it's been a blast. Go to Gen Con if you like board games and if you can afford it, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I can say. And it'll be a great time. Thank you. But yeah, do your research for Gen Con before you go. There's a lot of things, a lot of events,
Yeah.
a lot of things to book up into, a lot of cool stuff to do. But you have to know. You have to be in the know. You have to plan ahead of time.
Yeah, you need to make a priority. Like if you're coming there specifically for acquisition and you've got some hot titles you want, you need to find out where in the hall those people are.
Thanks, Dennis.
And you need to prioritize. And you say, this is the one I want most, then you got to
And
go
if,
there
if there's
first.
demos you want to play, you gotta
Schedule them. Yeah.
schedule your stuff. So, all right, that is all. I will be flying out tomorrow. Well, both of us will be flying out
Yep.
tomorrow. So not to the same locations. Though.
Unfortunately.
My flight's a lot shorter than yours.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, one of my legs is like even more than that.
Yeah. So that is it. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you again next time we do a live. Probably next year, but we'll see you on the regular channel. Bye. It's been a blast. Gen Con was awesome. Thank you. If anybody's watching from Gen Con, thanks for having us. It was so good.
And thanks for having me on the channel.
Oh, hugs. Let's end it with a hug. All right, so I gotta turn this off. And okay, see you, Joe. I gotta turn this off.